know where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you made it here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We got to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfield.
This episode of Chief Concerns is brought to you by BetOnline.AG. BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more, and even NFL preseason. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Another episode of the Chief Concerns podcast. It's a post-game reaction show. JD's not joining us. He's dealing with a family matter. It's myself, Marcus Dash, and my brother, Teja Dash, back on the Bleacher Report streams. It's great that Bleacher Report's having us, but all that being said, yeah, it's tough to kind of I'm seeing all your guys' comments right now in the chat. It's pretty rough. I was not expecting this at all. When I saw the line go down to 6.5 to 4.5, I lost a lot of money on it tonight. That's another story, but I put a lot of money on us tonight. When I saw it down to 4.5, I was at 4.5 easy. Lots. I mean, there's lots to talk about tonight. Obviously, Kelce not being there. I think Kelce not being there and showing how bad the offense played tonight kind of took away from the defense. I mean, defense played well. They only gave up 14 points. I mean, 7 points came from that pick six.
Right.
I just and I thought at times, I mean, pretty much for the whole game, we pretty much shut down the run, and then at the end, that's. The end is where I think it kind of that's where it really showed. Not having Chris Jones, but we've always been kind of bad against the run with Chris Jones. But however, him not being there, that just really kind of that drive at the end where they just kind of drove it down our throats with David Montgomery. That really hurt. And then obviously not being able to stop him on that last one. But we wasted all our timeouts when they got that first down, the 3rd and 2. But what initial reaction, Teja? What do you think?
There are so many. I see Mike Evans' name. I'm flashing on the side. Drops, man. Drops was brutal. Tony's game was one of the worst games I've seen from a Chiefs receiver maybe in my life, actually. It was bad. It was like to the point where if I was a coach, I'd maybe just pull him and be like, all right, this isn't like it's not your day. It's like a pitcher just getting shelled in like early innings. It didn't look good early on either. Like it would never seem that one sweep he had where he looked like he was like limp running. I don't even know. He didn't look right on that either.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like he was hurt. I mean, like to give him this much playing time despite we have 7 healthy receivers, right? So it's like I don't know. I don't see the need of
6, not including him.
Yeah. I'm saying, but you don't. So anyway, bad receiver play, drops. Initial reaction that just jumped out to me.
Yeah, I think I counted 9 drops on the game, 9 or 10 drops.
Yeah, I think a couple of them weren't counted. One of them was I think Sky Moore had his the ball batted out while he was trying to catch it. That didn't count. One or two were like bad balls by Mahomes, but yeah, there were a lot. I'd say at least 7+.
Yeah, and obviously Kelce not being here, I know I think I've seen some fans online say, "Oh, this is the future for the Chiefs." You know, okay, first off, it's not the future for the Chiefs. Yeah, he's 34, but like, if Kelce were to retire whenever that day comes, we'll have a full off season to kind of work an offense in that fits the guys we have. We literally had 2 days with this injury, and to kind of put a game plan together. So that did hurt, but forget the game plan aspect of it. It's simple. Let's take away one drop. That KT drop in that last drive at the end of the game. That he catches that. that one, like that 20-yard one, and then that's game. We get a field goal range, kick a field goal game, 23-21. I mean, just stuff like that. Sky Moore, besides drops, look at the separation aspect of it. There's so many times where Mahomes had a scramble in the first half of that game because no one was getting open.
Yeah. And
Mahomes. I thought Sky Moore was going to come to play today. I had a bunch of people text me, as far as fantasy, should I go Sky Moore? I was like, yeah, I think so. I think he's going to be the guy who's going to be the in-between, move the chains guy with Kelce not being there. He'll probably own the middle of the field. And I didn't see Sky Moore. I saw him drop a couple balls. That one was pretty high that Pat threw it to him, but like, should have still, you got your hands on it, dude. One was behind him. He should have caught that too. And also on top of that, another one thing that stood out to me was, and I know we get very gimmicky with our offense. It's the way Andy is, he's a creative guy. Sometimes it works for us, sometimes it doesn't. And tonight, the short yardage plays was really bad.
Too cute.
It was way too cute. But the KT play you're talking about, with the reverse, not reverse, the jet sweep, that was 2nd and 1. And we lost like 4 yards in that play. Maybe 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. Unnecessary.
The Blake Bell one was worse.
The jet
handoff to the sweep Rice. Just take the offsides, and we have a first down, and no need to even do that. They jumped, so I don't know. It was pretty rough, man.
And I'm seeing some people were saying, I think Bears fans, maybe some Chief fans, I don't know, but they're blaming the short yardage calls. I know every time it's bad calls, they want to blame it on the OC, never want to blame it on Andy. But when it comes to like EB last year, it's Andy calling plays. It's not EB. But like when it's a bad play, it's Matt Nagy's calling plays. I saw that a lot tonight. I don't know what your thoughts are on that. I mean, if we want to say it's Andy's playbook, it's got to be on Andy. Yeah, we'll take the good and the bad with Andy. But like at the end of the day, it's his offense. He's the one calling the shots here. Not being able to run a QB sneak with our offense just because of one time with Mahomes, that kills us so badly that even the Blake Bell QB sneak doesn't even work anymore. We have to do a jet sweep with Rashee Rice.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I think they were playing off that too, because now they know that defenses know anytime Bell's back there, he's going to just run it up the middle on a sneak. So it's like, we're going to surprise him. We're going to run a jet sweep with Blake Bell and one of our receivers. So didn't work at all. Just too cute, man. And Mahomes, you could tell, because a lot of times when he extends plays, he still looks downfield. You could tell on a lot of those, he was like just tucking and running. He was like, you know what? I'm going. I know I can get 6 or 7 yards. I don't know I'm going to get that by passing the ball. So I'm running.
Yeah. And plus on top of that, like the running aspect, I would say people were saying online, like, Travis Kelce, like not being there, and they have it, them two together. They have this improvisational, we talk about Rashee Rice's ability for the scramble drill. Kelce gets that more than anybody else as far as having that rapport with Mahomes. And I think when the play breaks down, that's where the loss of Kelce not being there tonight, that's where it hurts us the most.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, drops. That's why we lost the game. It wasn't because Travis Kelce wasn't there. It was the drops.
And I can see Rice developing that. He had that knack in college, and he actually looked good on that one broken play where he took it for like 20 or 30 yards or something. But you just can't rely on him at this stage as a rookie in his first game to come in and be the scramble drill receiver on our team. That's just not fair for him, and he shouldn't have to. It's a big roster full of receivers, and probably the best game of a receiver, I hate to say it, and I'm sure you're going to hate to hear it, and I know people are making this joke online, was probably Watson, just because he didn't make any bonehead plays. MVS is okay. I mean, MVS was fine. I don't remember any bad plays from him. He just didn't make a lot of great plays.
It's interesting, too, because I how many targets did MVS even have tonight? Just two? Just 2 targets? The 2 catches he had?
I think he only had 2 targets, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
2 for 48 on 2 targets.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the game.
No, Gray looked good.
He did look pretty good. Yeah, no, he did look good. I think anyone's going to benefit from Kelce not being there is obviously him. But as far as maybe getting some more confidence when Kelce does come back, I mean, every year you look at Noah Gray. I mean, he's statistically gotten more catches, more targets the last few years. And with Jody Fortson out there, it's going to maybe even develop into a bigger role on the offense. And when Kelce comes back, you have a double tight end set. But looking specifically, let's talk about just overall, if you were to grade the offense tonight. And I'll even throw Mahomes didn't look great either. Yeah, he didn't have his guy with him, but there was times where there was one specific play, the triple coverage, the bomb to Richie James. I was like, wait, what's going on here? He had a couple underthrown balls too, but he didn't look so good. And yeah, I'm seeing Lions deserve respect. Yeah, 100%. Lions came in to the banner raising ceremony in Kansas City. Had a lot of fans there. They came out and they did their thing 100%. Yeah, no one's taking away from the Lions. Hey, well, this is a Chiefs show. Lions show is probably breaking down how great they're feeling right now. We look like ass tonight. Yeah. But hey, Detroit, you did your thing. David Montgomery looked great. Let's go into the defense a little bit. So Carl Loftus played his ass off. I think working out with Tom Ali this offseason really showed. Just being handsy, just being all over the place. Not really falling for any of the play actions. Always keep with the quarterback. Mike Dana stepped up. Contract year for the guy, playing inside, outside, looking all over the place. Looked really good.
Good.
That was probably one of the reasons why I didn't even notice Chris Jones wasn't there tonight, because he played so well. Noddy had probably one of his best games in Kansas City tonight. But obviously, we stopped the run. They were averaging about 3 yards a carry up until those last 2 drives, or the last drive where they kind of ran down our throat, which kind of seemed like we kind of gave up for whatever reason. What would you grade the defense tonight, specifically stopping the run, or anybody else stand out on the defense?
I mean, they had 34 for 118. They averaged 3.5 a carry, and if you probably take out that last 2 drives from them, that probably would have been maybe under 3 a carry. I think our defense played pretty well. Our secondary gave up a few big catches over the middle, more than I liked. But the pressure was consistent. Spags had a pretty good game plan. He blitzed at the right time. Snead almost had him on that corner blitz. So close to that. I give our defense, especially if you consider without Chris Jones, I give him a B to B plus, man. I was really, I mean, I can't. They weren't the problem. 7 of those points fall in the Chiefs' offense. So really, they held the Detroit Lions offense to 14 points.
Yep.
You know,
I agree. I also got to say Spags had a really good strategy going to that game. There were, I mean, obviously, I will say the middle of the field was kind of wide open for them. They kind of, I don't know, what did Amon-Ra St. Brown finish with? Because middle of the field, man, he was kind of eating stuff.
71.
Interesting. Okay, so
I told you to get 6 for like 66. Remember?
Yeah. Yeah. They were kind of eating us up in the middle of the field, the crossing routes, the drags. They were kind of getting us with that, especially with Laporta. Laporta got a few of those, as well as Amon-Ra St. Brown. Outside of that, yeah, I think we did pretty well until the end of the game, where our backs just kind of broke with the run, with David Montgomery just kind of cashing us. Also, Jahmyr Gibbs looked pretty good too. He's only going to his roles continue to grow with them. And he's going to look really good. Yeah. Chiefs had interest in him at one point during the fan base would have gone crazy if we drafted another first round running back.
Yeah.
We
were seeing enough out of ours to, which is another thing. The run game did not look good.
Oh, go back to our run game. Yeah. Let's talk about that a little bit. What did you make of what you saw?
I don't want to trash the receivers without also talking about how our running backs couldn't find a hole. Because I mean, look, we were good in pass protection. I know it's different than run protection, but run blocking, but they did not look good, man. Pacheco 8 for 23 didn't look right. He was actually better catching the ball than he was running the ball. And Edwards-Helaire was Edwards-Helaire. I mean, he was same thing as we always see. Mahomes was by far our best runner. In fact, Pacheco and Helaire ran for as many yards combined as Mahomes did on the dot, 45-45.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's not what you want to see. Yeah, I know we had a question for you guys. Were you okay with the amount of times Mahomes ran tonight? He needed to run it. So, yeah, I'm okay with that. But do I like it? No, there was one time when the DT actually pulled up on him. I thought it was a helmet when he got him in the back. I thought it was to the back of the helmet. It was his back shoulder pad. But, Yeah, the run game looked atrocious. I will say Pacheco surprised me. One of his knocks coming out of college was his hands. They don't really throw the ball that much. He looked really good. You know, like, and that's probably what we didn't see a lot of McKinnon tonight. Yeah, I think we know that our offense can be very. You can tell what we're going to do if Pacheco's in there. We're going to run the ball. But tonight we kind of we were throwing to him a lot, which we needed to, because no one could get separation in the secondary. Pathetic.
I mean, look, Pacheco and CEH only had 14 carries combined, so it's not like we kept trying to do it. It looked like we were trying to really get the passing game going. I mean, every time I saw us drop back, I thought there's no way we could drop another ball. But like, I'm sure they thought that too. They're like, all right, we've had like 6 drops tonight. We'll catch it. He'll catch it. He's a receiver. He's a professional receiver. He catches balls. They just kept coming. Even McKinnon dropped the ball. It was like contagious when they started dropping. It was like, oh my gosh.
That was also a weird play too, where Mahomes was holding the ball back there. He was about to get sacked, and he just kind of threw it to him. He would have been tackled right away once he caught that ball.
He would have been. But yeah, I mean, it's even with Kelce, man. We need someone to step up and be that guy a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, we have about 100 people in the room right now. You guys can check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts. To see Chief Concerns with former Chiefs player Jason Dunn and Eric Warfield. We have about 3 shows a week, so you guys can definitely tap into that. But also, let's continue about the offense. So O-line, that was that big traction all off season. The new tackles, getting rid of Orlando Brown Jr., bringing in Jawan Taylor and Donovan Smith. I thought for the most part they played pretty well tonight.
I thought they played pretty well. I did hear from Bucs fans a lot in the offseason, have fun with Donovan Smith holding. And that did happen on a crucial play that Sky Moore finally caught a ball. And that got rid of his reception. But overall, good game. I know Taylor got a lot of flack online for his false starts, but if anyone watched the Super Bowl, no one seemed to care when it was Lane Johnson. So I'm pretty sure that's okay. Yeah, no, it's funny. Lane Johnson gets praised. Look at the timing. But Jawan Taylor does the exact same thing. He gets skewered for it. The one at the end they did call him for, that seemed like legit. I think all the other ones were right on time, it seemed. I mean, I don't know. Watching Lane Johnson, the amount of times they do not call it on him, I don't know what's a false start and what's not a false start anymore, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, that was on the 4th and 20, right? Yeah, which made it 4th and 25. Yeah. We looked a little discombobulated before the snap even happened. I was like, McKinnon looked like lost and confused. That was a little weird one anyway. That didn't surprise me that someone went outside or false start on that one, to be honest. Yeah. But I will say overall that the O-line was fine, because that wasn't – I'm not coming away from this game saying like, oh, man, like, oh, they look bad. We should have kept Orlando Brown Jr. I'm not coming away from that. I don't think anyone is. But I do think MVS, if we were to kind of like give guys grades, I think MVS was the best. I mean, he only got 2 targets and he came 2 for 2 on those targets. I thought that ball, I don't know if anyone else is in the chat thought that was an interception. When they came up and they said it was a first down, I was like, holy shit. Like, I couldn't believe that. I don't know. I want to see it. They kind of hustled to the ball to call the next play real fast. I was like, that ball bounced off the ground or something. That was clean, man. I thought he played the best. I mean, he's our most veteran receiver, our highest paid receiver. So he came to play on his 2 targets. Last 2 games for MVS, Super Bowl, and this one, 2 targets. So yeah, he's really earning that $16 million. He was second to last in targets on our receivers. That shouldn't happen. MVS needs more than 2 targets in a game. They were, based on I saw some of the full field view. They were taking away the deep ball, and that's kind of what we sent him on. We sent him on 9 routes and 8 routes all game long. So they're taking that away. The comeback worked. That was a completion for like 13 or 14 yards or something. So start doing that. If they're totally playing you deep, then start to come back for them. Yeah. So some of the bright sides tonight. I know you can't really find anything. For me, I think the one bright spot is Noah Gray obviously stepped up. That's one we already talked about. But the fact that Kelce was so close to playing tonight, and some people say it's gonna be a 1 to 3 week injury. He's gonna play next week. That's it. I mean, if he was that close in playing tonight, I think it seems like he's gonna come out and play next week. So we'll have him against the Jaguars.
a lot of people are saying that could be one of the best teams in the AFC. So we're going to kind of rally fast. Usually it's by week 3, week 4 we have a blunder like this. This was right out the gate. Could be a good thing, though, to kind of get the rust off right away. But I think what tonight really showed you, looking at Pacheco, not really – he looked kind of hesitant when he was running the ball. As far as catching, he looked phenomenal. But as far as running the ball, he looked hesitant back there. I think he was dancing a little bit too much in the beginning of that game. Only ran the ball 7 times or 8 times with him. So
yeah.
But then KT and Pacheco, both guys who really didn't practice really didn't get full contact all off season in training camp. I think that's kind of the story of this one tonight. It shows you how key and important that is. And also you're going to take that into when we do get Chris Jones back, he needs to, if he gets signed, hopefully it's this weekend, he needs to get his butt in the practice on Monday and get acclimated with the team as much as possible the next week. I know he's been working out. He's probably in great shape, but as we saw tonight, just because you're in shape doesn't mean you're in game shape, because KT looked like, I don't know. I mean, I was really surprised about how bad he looked tonight.
Should we be, though?
Why?
He was talking more smack on social media and to Giants fans than he was actually on the practice field this whole offseason. I mean, he wasn't – I just don't think he was ready to play a game of football yet. I was surprised when he was like that full of a go, to be honest. I mean, I really was. I didn't think – I thought he was going to be more limited than he was. He was out there a lot, and he got the ball a lot.
Well, it makes you wonder, did the Kelce injury kind of speed up? Oh, he's going from he's going to get limited reps to full go. Because at the beginning of that game, he really wasn't in there. Then he finally started getting in, and once he was in for the rest of the game. Yeah. I mean, Mahomes trusts his guys, man. I mean, he's always working with these guys in Texas all year long. Like, he's going to continue to go to their guys. I mean, he trusts them. And I don't know, after a game like tonight, I mean, I'm not Mahomes, obviously, but like, I don't know if I'm trusted KT, man. That was rough. And I know I don't think it's going to happen next week, but I think he'll bounce back. But that's a reality check for some of those guys tonight.
It's a long season, man. I wouldn't, I mean, in a few weeks from now, he has a couple good games. This is all forgotten. It's week 1. So I just think there's the whole season's in front of us. I mean, thing is, I try to be an honest fan. I probably would have been very similar, even if we ended up winning this game by like just a last second Butker kick. It was still a rough game, whether we won or not. There's still a lot of stuff we did poorly. And they got to get better. They need to be relied upon. It just shows everybody that you can't have Kelce. You can't rely on him catching 8 to 10 balls, 7 to 10 balls a game to bail us out of this stuff.
No.
And we're lucky Kelce isn't the one holding out, because if he was, talk about leverage and Chris Jones.
I know.
If Kelce was holding out, dude would get paid after today.
What I will say is, obviously you said it's week 1, so I'm not going to say the sky's falling. However, Sky Moore kind of scares me.
Sky's falling?
Sky's falling. I think someone actually in the chat,
really?
said that.
Yeah.
Chiefs X Day one said that. Great one, actually, because maybe Sky – I don't think the sky's falling for our team, but Sky, man, I thought tonight was a perfect time for him to kind of shine, and the sun didn't come through the sky today. It did not at all. It was cloud cover all night long. And the one catch he had was called back by holding. Whatever. But I thought Ross getting that one target he had, I think he only had like 4 snaps, I think. But that one target he had, caught it. I thought they're going to kind of get him in a little bit more. And because the report was they were going to have certain packages for him when he made the team. And maybe by the end of the season, he would get more involved and acclimated. I think after games like tonight, that's where you just got to get guys like Rashee, Rice, and Ross acclimated all game and kind of try to get them in more so, because if you're getting that kind of production for some of these guys, man, I don't know. I think you do see what you have in Rice and Ross. We don't have seasoned guys back there. MVS is our most seasoned guy, and he's getting 2 targets. He's just a deep threat.
I think in games like this where a guy doesn't look like he's there or he doesn't have it, you have to give someone else more playing time. I think that's more prevalent with Tony because of the lack of really preseason and practice time he had going into the year. With Sky, that shouldn't be the case. He's pretty healthy. He was there and active. and I don't want to, I know people in the chat are saying this, and I said this before. Some of those balls were bad. I'm not going to totally crap on him for not catching all those balls. But, dude, this is a Mahomes offense. He does a scramble drill. He throws unorthodox balls. They're not always easy to catch. They're not. So you're going to have to catch hard balls with Mahomes. That's part of the drill. So
and let's be real, he wasn't playing with Patrick Mahomes in Western Michigan. I'm sure he had to play. I'm sure he had some rough balls thrown his way in Western Michigan. Okay.
Quarterback guy. You tell me who his quarterback.
Western Michigan when he was there. I don't know. But no, I do think Sky will be all right. And true, he had that one slant that was behind him, and then he had the ball that went over his head on that
and one that was poked out by the corner.
One that was poked out. That's one you should catch right there.
Yeah. Pull it in.
But I will say, I think someone say Andre Rison is still a free agent. You know what? It would be a bad move to bring him in. It's a good name drop right there. Bobby Scipio's still out there though. Bring him in. He was coaching with JD at the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl. So yeah.
No, but when I brought up Mike Evans to you the other day, you thought I was crazy because you're like, with all the receivers we have. I was like, but we got to wait to see how these receivers look, because if they're not coming through when we need them to come through game one, I'm not going to say, yeah, Mike Evans' watch starts now. In 3 or 4 weeks from now, if it's not that big of a difference and the same story's happening, we got to start to talk about things. But we don't have any money, so
I think a little. The difference is though with Mike Evans, you're bringing in a receiver here in this highly complicated offense. You have guys on the roster who can play the role of that, but they're young guys. They want to kind of get acclimated. Who initially the plan was to kind of get them acclimated slowly, but I think now you're starting to see if you're Reed, you're Nagy, you're like, okay, let's get the young guys let's get the Rice and Ross of the world more acclimated into the offense. And yes, you have Sky Moore, he's still a young kid. He's still going to be taking his lumps. And I think this is you need to have a wake up call at some point. Rice dropped the pass to start the game. What happened 2 plays later? Call a touchdown. So you have to have some of these bad games. Last year, Sky didn't get targeted enough in the offense to even have a bad game. That's right? True. His bad games came from muff punts last year, whereas he finally had a bad game. But yeah, I think we're not selling on Sky. I think Sky's still going to have a good year. Because he's. Actually, interesting though. He has to. Yeah, he does. Richie James is a guy. He had 1 catch tonight. So I know special teams has been a problem with us or with our team as far as punt returns, not really finding a guy. I thought he had a pretty solid game tonight. Yeah, he almost had the fumble, but the what do you call it? The elbow was down on the ground. But I thought he had a solid game. I wasn't scared at all. It seemed like he's a natural punt return. I know Giants fans would call him out for having fumbles in New York. But he was a solid return man today. I wasn't scared when he was back there, trying to, amazing a muffet. Like, I wasn't scared at all. He just seemed like natural back there. Obviously, he didn't really break anything. Well, what did you think about Richie James' performance tonight on the special teams side of things?
I thought it was pretty good. That one, the fumble, it seemed like he didn't see that guy coming, which I don't know how he didn't. Like, the guy was coming right out on his right for him, and he didn't see him. That was a nasty fall too. Lucky that could have been worse. Thank goodness he didn't fumble that, because if he did, they might have, with the season he had last year with all of his fumbles, we might, cut the cord really quickly on him doing the punt returns. I don't want to see that happen.
I don't know who would be next though. That's the thing. They put Tony back there. The guy, you know what? The guy who had a 60-yard. Maybe let's get him. Let's get his confidence back up. Put him back in punt return. Let him have a nice 52-yard return like he did for us in the Super Bowl. Get his confidence back up. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, if he could catch it, sure. Yeah, that'd be great. Richie James had I think won most of that. I'm surprised he returned and he called a fair catch on. He's pretty he's got a lot of huevos doing some of those not fair catch returns, man. But
yeah, I like it. That's probably gave me confidence. He was confident to catch the ball even with the guys running into his face. And we haven't really had a guy, obviously we had Tony do it a little bit last year. But yeah, I thought Richie James was solid. Sky really wasn't a punt returner. I think someone said that in the chat. He wasn't a punt returner in college, so we try to make him that. It's not his thing. So I'm glad we finally got that off his plate. I'm seeing we talked a little bit about the short yardage plays earlier. Whose fault was that? Andy Reid, Matt Nagy. I just don't. I know Pat even addressed it at a press conference when we tried doing the Blake Bell QB sneak during the Saints game. I think didn't work. When are we going to bring? when are we going to actually like say let's actually run a QB sneak? I mean, that was a freak injury that happened. I know it's like I don't know. Is Pat never going to scramble anymore because he freaking had a high ankle sprain? I mean, well, I don't understand why we can't run a normal QB sneak. I mean, every team does that.
I don't think we would do it now. If you see it again, it'll be in a very high stakes game. It'll be like in a playoff game or a Super Bowl or a game that we need to get into play, something like that. It won't be in a game one. If we do it, it's because we know 100% the defense is not seeing that coming. Because I don't think they are. I don't think whenever we do it, we'll get it for sure because they don't see that coming at all. I don't think defenses think we're ever going to run a sneak with them again. My question to you about that is, though, if Mahomes got injured doing that again, I mean, how mad would all fans be that he was doing it? Fans would be furious that we did it again.
Fans would be furious, but like I think we'd be more mad just like the bad luck that we have because every other team's I've never seen a quarterback get injured doing a QB sneak before ever. I don't think anyone's ever seen a quarterback get besides that one Thursday night game against Denver. I don't think anyone's ever seen.
Yeah, it was a freak thing.
So I don't think anyone can get mad about that.
He hurt if he had a similar type like knee something. I don't know. It's not. I mean, it's not worth it to get injured unless it's just a huge play and a huge part of the season.
See someone talk about CEH's usage. That was one of the topics we had. One of the polls questions for you guys. I was surprised about the amount of usage he got tonight. The fact that with the when they do the starters like Patrick Mahomes, Texas Tech, when they did all that, Isaiah Pacheco was the guy they said, and then his first play you see out there, CEH, little Clyde out there. I thought Clyde's usage in the preseason was a bit much, and I thought that was maybe they're trying to trade him, maybe they're trying to up his stats to trade him. Made the team, and he was the first running back we saw out there tonight. I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't know, what do you make of us using him right out the gate like that? Are we trying to? And we're not trying to like nurse Pacheco to get him back to speed because they all have the same amount of numbers tonight, touches tonight. Actually, I think Pacheco led the way as far as touches with catches. And McKinnon, that was one thing that stood out to me. McKinnon had that one catch that saved our first down of the game, and then didn't really see from McKinnon again until he had the drop later on in the game. But that was the only touch he had.
That was his next target. That drop, yeah.
The guy who was second on our team in touchdowns last year, had one touch. I mean, it was a weird game. I thought McKinnon was going to actually be utilized a lot more with Kelce being out tonight.
Absolutely.
Very surprised by this.
I expected a lot more short yardage McKinnon, especially on third downs. Clyde usage doesn't surprise me. Like I said, Pacheco didn't play that much, didn't participate that much in our preseason activities, man. And it's a lot to go out there and expect him to get like 13 to 15 carries a game. And the way he runs, it's very violent. He goes for contact almost. Bless him, he doesn't have that much wiggle to him. But he runs hard and he goes right for contact. And that's not good for a guy that didn't play much preseason.
Yeah. Yeah, and I gotta say, I'm seeing people here talk about McKinnon, and I've always been big proponent of McKinnon. Love his pass blocking, love his receiving threat. He's also a pretty solid runner. If you look at his yards per carries with us, like 4.5, 5 yards a carry with us. And yeah, they have like last year they didn't use him much in the ground game, and it seems like we're not going to be using him in that much this year. So it's very interesting the way they're utilizing him. Seeing people say here 19-1. So yeah, one loss. Gonna be some growing pains season. I thought we'd struggle on offense and play well on defense. Yeah. I don't think anyone would have predicted the amount of balls that we dropped tonight, because that's what's gonna chalk. That's what when we remember this game. There's a couple games from last year you look to. You look at the Colts game, you look to Chris Jones's ridiculous penalty. The one where he told Matt Ryan to get his old ass up. And then what's his name? Sky Moore muffing punts in that game. That's who you look to in that game. When we think about this game tonight, we're thinking about the drops. Man, that's it. I mean, our defense played pretty well. And one of the questions we had was what looked worse, our offense without Kelce or Jones, or our defense without Chris Jones. Obviously, I think we both agree offense looked worse without Kelce. But how much leverage did Chris Jones really lose tonight, though? Did he lose leverage tonight?
Leverage? But most people online are joking about him like gaining a lot of leverage. Like, oh man, they have to pay him now. Like, our D-line didn't play bad. Well, I mean, that was supposed to be one of the best 1-2 punches in the NFL on Detroit, and they averaged 3.5 a carry. So I don't think we missed him that much at all. I mean, we had to do a little more blitzing to get pressure, but I thought they had a very good game. I mean, if we had the kind of game on defense that we had on offense, then I'd say Chris Jones made a lot of money tonight. But I don't think that's it, man.
So, and this is a question for all you guys in the chat as well. Do you guys think we're going to be sitting here next Sunday? Will we be talking about Chris Jones's play in that game next Sunday, or we're going to be talking about we need to bring him back? Because I mean, I don't know if he lost leverage tonight. I think it's about the same as it was, and I think there were some reports before the game talking about he gained leverage with Nick Bosa's contract. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think all along everyone knew where Bosa's contract was going, so that's not a new thing. These guys know. Everyone talks. That's not a new thing. It's not going to add anything. Edge rusher versus D tackle, totally different. So I don't think it added leverage. I think it's about the same as it was. I think if anything, they want to return to normalcy. Like, okay, let's forget about all the outside crap. Let's just let's get the deal done. Let Kelce come back and everything, go back to the normal Chief status quo. I think that'd be the one thing, and just get him in here as soon as possible. I don't know if it's losing leverage. I think it's just trying to return to normalcy. I think the outside noise was a bit much for the Chiefs. I thought it was overhyped. The amount of people were talking about it this week, where everyone's saying, "Oh man, this is like the Kansas City Chiefs. You have too much stuff going on, too much outside noise going on. Jones's holdout, Kelce's injury. Obviously, that was unforeseen. However, though, I mean." What do you think? Do you think they try to get this deal done? Do you think this loss maybe tries to fasten that process up and get Chris Jones booked and bring him back?
I hope so, man. It's not. I don't think it's for lack of effort. It's for lack of giving out the money for it. I just think what a weird night though. Overall, him being in the building and like watching us lose live, it's weird. I mean, I would. I know he has a lot of comparisons to, I'm just trying to get a raise, but like, could you imagine going to your job and watching your coworkers work while you're asking for a raise, but not doing your job? Like, I'm only doing that. I know football is different from an office job. I get that, but he's the one making comparison. Like, you're just trying to get a raise for your job, right? He made it sound so simple and so average and normal. Okay, but like, I'm not allowed to go to my job and while I'm asking for a raise and watch my coworkers work. Weird, man. It's just a weird scene. But he said he did it because it was the first game since the championship. So what is he not going to go to next week's game? He's not going to go to that. He's not going to go to that one. He went to one. And that was it. Like, if we don't sign him, I mean.
Are we in Jacksonville next week, or is that a home game again?
It is.
He's not going to an away game.
At Jacksonville.
I mean, not that Jacksonville and Miami are close, but his home base is in Miami. So, like, I mean,
close enough.
Well, hopefully it's not like hopefully we're signing him and bringing him back for the game. It's just at the end of the day, they just need to be able to. I just want normalcy. I don't care how they get the shit done. I just want normalcy within Kansas City. The only thing we should have had to deal with this week, we shouldn't have, but was the Kelce injury. That was the only thing we should have been talking about. But we had the Chris Jones nonsense. We had that nonsense. Andy was freaking livid. I mean, I don't know if anyone saw his press conference this week after when he told everybody that Kelce got hurt. He was pissed off. He wasn't in a good mood because he knew the game plan that he had all offseason of game planning for that. Then, that happened. I mean, like it had to scrap it and had to go to this other game plan, which was fine. The short yard shit was awful. But 10 drops. I mean, no one's foresaw that happening. But yeah, give the Lions their flowers for doing what they did.
Yeah.
But I will say, final thoughts to wrap this up. And again, we're gonna have a show Monday with Jason Dunn breaking down what we saw tonight, and then obviously our normal podcast for all you guys who are Chief concerned aholics in here. You guys know what to do. But yeah, so final thoughts here tonight. I think hit the drops. I don't think it's going to happen again. I don't think we're going to see another game where you have 10 drops. I don't think we're going to see that again. So, like, it's one of those things, you go to film room, you watch it, you forget about that. Short memory, we watch film, we see what we can improve on, let it go. But it's going to be kind of a rough pill to swallow. Just to be able to wait 10 days to go back at it again after going 0-1. We haven't had an 0-1. I think we've only had a start of the season with one loss under the Andy Reid era. only one time in the Andy Reid Chiefs era. So it kind of sucks. I'm seeing what do y'all think about trading for a new RB1 that would open up the passing game and solve so many issues? I think we're good with I think we're good with the running backs we have. I don't think we need a trade for one. I think if we were going to do anything, we would go get either Leonard Fournette or Kareem Hunt. I don't think we need a trade for a running back. Although Jonathan Taylor could be interesting, but we don't have money to pay for him. So I don't. That's not going to happen. We need to figure out Chris Jones first, and then think about everything else. But yeah, 10 days fixing offense. It's like a mini bye. Jacksonville better be very, very, very alert because we're going to be coming out firing next week. We're going to try to put up 35 plus points. That's what I think is going to happen. But what are your final thoughts as we move ahead, Tej?
Final thoughts. I hope we have like a third of the drops. I'll give us 3 on next week at least. So that's good. I liked someone saying that I think Reed will just go right back to the receivers. I think he will too. They're young. You don't want this to hang on them at all. Go right back to them. I love that Rice cut a touchdown after he had that drop. Really encouraging for him. Get Ross more involved. Just get them more involved, man. Like they need to forget about this. The professional receivers, they're very young. They have their whole careers in front of them. Just get away from this. Hopefully Kelce's back. And hopefully Jones is back. I can't believe I'm saying that. I never thought I'd be saying that 2 weeks ago. I hope Kelce and Jones are back for week 2. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, yeah. Kelce will be back. And also 10 more days for L'Jarius Sneed to get healthier. 10 more days for Tony to get work back into himself again and get rid of these drops. And I gotta say, everyone, we have to go back to our social media stuff and seeing everyone talking crap, Raiders fans, Bengals fans, Bills fans. But I feel bad for Kadarius Toney's mentions with Giants fans. That's all. He better not open that up for a long time. But
he needs to hear it, though. He needs to hear that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And if we won, I feel like it'd be a little more muted right now. The fact that we lost and that game was played the way it was played, it'll ring a lot louder in their ears this next 10 days. It really will. It's not going to be, well, we won, so whatever, we'll get better. No. Like, we lost, you played bad, which led to a loss. So now you have to get better.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see how the Jacksonville game goes because it's going to be a bounce back game for us. And we usually bounce back well. And it's also a mini bye for Andy Reid. We know Andy is after the bye. So, yeah. But, again, guys, it was great having you all on. Love the commentary and engagement. Yeah, Chief Concerns, you can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts. Definitely subscribe to our channel. And, yeah, we got some good stuff going with you guys all year long. We'll see you guys Monday for a live stream right here on Bleacher Report. Take it easy, fellas.
Later, guys.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.